Hello everybody, my name is Chris, the Comic Vet. Hope this video finds you safe and well. Let me just adjust my phone a little bit here. Let's see. Ryan, I see that you joined me. Ryan, how's the audio on your end? Do I sound okay? Anyways, while I got myself situated here, welcome to New Comic Book Day. This is a very special week when it comes to comic books. It is a little bit of a lighter week when it comes to some of the bigger titles. However, this weekend, this particular Saturday, gives us free comic book day. And that is a very, very special thing. Thanks, Ryan. And yeah, my LCS just hooked me up with a shoebox of every single release that's coming out for free comic book day. And this is that box. And it is, like, I'm telling you, it is just jammed. Every single book, and Archie's on the top, so I'm guessing it's alphabetical. Now, with that being said, I did just record a very quick video detailing and showing the covers of every single book that's here. Now, with that said, my LCS great guy decided to hook me up with a handful of extra copies of free comic book day books for ones that he knows that I enjoy as reader copies. So I will be getting into these today. With that said, I do have a decent stack, and let's just first take a look at some of the people that have been kind enough to join me today. Comic Kane, what's up, Comic Army? Hope that you're doing well. And again, my brother from Texas, Ryan, thanks for joining me again, my man. For those that didn't see, this past Sunday night, Ryan and myself did a video spoiling the hell out of the new Suicide Squad movie. If you haven't had a chance to check it out, when you have a moment, or basically 90 minutes, why don't you take a look at that video? Like I said, Ryan and I dissect Suicide Squad and give you our thoughts on the movie, and at the end we recommend whether or not you should check out the Suicide Squad. Anyways, with that said, Les Crucius, hello from New Mexico, my man. Hello from Ontario. Hope that you're doing well. It is 29 degrees Celsius here, so I believe that's the mid 80s in the United States when it comes to Celsius versus Fahrenheit. It is hot here. My car says 29 degrees, but that is not factoring in the humidity. It's been raining like it's the Caribbean here in Ontario lately, and the humidity and the air quality, it's just rough. And yeah, I know what a lot of Americans are thinking. What? It gets hot in Canada? Yeah, it is excruciating. But anyways, the air conditioning is on in my car, so I'm just kind of concerned about the audio. Hopefully it works out well. Speaking of Canada, James Willies joined me from the left coast out there near the Pacific Ocean. Hope that you're doing well, James. And Flash by Night, good morning. And Station, of course, hope that you're doing well, sir. Thanks again for joining me. So, yeah, a few moments ago, I mentioned Free Comic Book Day, and that I do have a copy of all the releases already, and I'm very thankful. Again, I take care of my comic book shop, and my comic book shop takes care of me. So I'm going to show everyone just a handful of the reader copies that were given to me. Now, I did the box that I just showed. Those books are not stamped. However, my reader copies are going to be stamped. The first book that I'm going to show you is Red Room by Ed Piskor. I did read issue number 1. It is a horror book, and it's a horror book that's very much outside of the box. For those that have been reading Red Room, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, so Red Room, the Free Comic Book Day edition. One of the books that I've been very, very excited about reading when it comes to the Free Comic Book Day releases, and I'm probably going to think I'm going to say a Boom Studios title. However, the one that I've really been wanting to read is from Image, and it's one of the hottest books from 2021 so far. It's Stray Dogs. So I'm very interested in to see what they do with this Free Comic Book Day edition. I'm not sure if it's just going to be like a reprinting of issue number 1 or a different take or whatever, but this cover is pretty cool. We do see the murderer taking a Polaroid of a young woman in her kitchen or whatever, and we see the dog being fascinated by the butterfly on the cover here. So yes, Stray Dogs, Free Comic Book Day edition, and we all know how hot Stray Dogs is. Dale Suspense, Dale, hope that you're doing well. Happy New Comic Book Day to you, my friend. The book that you kind of thought I was going to talk about from Boom Studios, it's here. Yes, it's Boom Studios Free Comic Book Day from JTIV and Werther Dell'Edera. I know that I'm still butchering that man's name, but it's Enter the House of Slaughter. So yes, it's the spin-off from Something is Killing the Children, and I'm very much looking forward to this, and I hope that it's just as well written as what 1 to 15 of Something is Killing the Children was. So we'll see where that goes. Again, another fantastic read, and I hope that all of you had read this book. It's from Aftershock. It's We Live. Now, We Live is doing a Free Comic Book Day edition, and it's called The Last Day. So I'm presuming that this is going to be spotlighting a different group of children just based on the cover alone. And again, We Live. If you haven't read We Live, my God, please go out and get yourself the collected trade. It is worth it. It's a fantastic read. And it was recommended to me by both Mark and by Ryan, and they were correct. It's just phenomenal. It's the best fresh take comic book story that I've read in a very long time. And Warren, my man from the great state of Michigan, hope that you're doing well. Thank you for joining me. I greatly appreciate your time. Speaking of the devil, the Free Comic Book Day edition, We Live, brought tears to my eyes. Here we go. So I know it's going to be another one of those great reads, and I'm presuming. But and Mark's made the comment. Smash that like button, people. If you guys wouldn't mind hitting that like button, I would greatly appreciate it. But so that's just the four reader copies that my LCS was kind enough to set aside for me for Free Comic Book Day. Like I said, I do have every single copy unstamped from Free Comic Book Day. I have already put together a quick video, and I'll be releasing it this weekend when Free Comic Book Day rolls around this Saturday. So if you have a moment or two, please check it out, and I'll be spotlighting every single cover. Now let's get into my new Comic Book Day haul. Like always, I start with the independents, and from Aftershock, I don't know why I bought this book. I really am a sucker for punishment. And for those that watch At Week's End on Legion of Comics every Sunday night, I've said for the last 3 months, I don't like this book. It's just too far out there for me, and I'm just a sucker for punishment, and I picked it up, and you probably know what I'm going to say, and it is, of course, Bunny Mask. So if this was not a trilogy, I probably wouldn't have bought this book, but I picked it up anyway. I got to see how it ends, even though I really don't know what's going on in the story, other than the young girl's father was a son of a bitch for doing what he did in the first couple pages of issue number 1. But we'll see how it ends. And Sunday night, I'll spoil the hell out of this book on Mark's channel with Mark and Ryan. And again, Bunny Mask, issue number 3 from Aftershock. Paul Tobin and Andrea Moody. I don't know what you guys are doing, but I hope I figure it out. I hope it comes together for me. Anyways, I believe this book was released last week, and I missed out on it. And so I decided to pick it up just because I'm really enjoying the Rick Grimes 2000 storyline by Robert Kirkman. And you probably know what I'm talking about. It's Skybound X. Yeah, I'm really enjoying this fresh take on The Walking Dead. I did enjoy The Walking Dead, reading it and watching it on AMC. I did give up on reading the comic book, even though it's now come to an end. I have given up on the TV show as well. But I am very much enjoying what's going on with this fresh take of aliens and zombies and Inspector Gadget type of Rick with a lightsaber. But yeah, Rick Grimes 2000. This book also features short stories of 6 sidekicks of Trigger Keaton, Code, and Gasolina. I have heard of the Trigger Keaton storyline. The other 2 I'm not familiar with, but I'll give it a go. Again, the cover price is good for an oversized book. LCS Station, thanks for joining me. And here we go. This is Mark now picking apart everything I have to say. Don't let Chris lie to you. Bunny Mask is actually his biography. Yeah. Well, I have nice teeth though. Anyways, and the girl in Bunny Mask does not have nice teeth anymore. Anyways, on to Marvel. I picked up issue number 1 of Defenders from Al Ewing. Like Mark, who just made a comment, I do enjoy Al Ewing's writing, so I'm hoping that the Defenders does start off very well. I did read the Defenders in the 80s, where Angel and Valkyrie were part of the team back in the day. I believe Doctor Strange was there as well. So to see that they have Doctor Strange and Silver Surfer amongst others here, I do find a little intriguing. And from what I'm understanding, there is a first appearance in this book as well, when I was doing a little bit of homework about this book. So if you haven't hit your LCS, maybe you want to try and find a copy of Defenders number 1 just for spec value alone. So yeah, Defenders number 1. Miss Soul has joined us. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your time. And yeah, so Defenders number 1. I picked up issue number 33 from Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil. I gotta admit, this was a cover buy for me. I have been reading Daredevil off and on since Chip Zdarsky picked it up, and I do know that he's been doing some fantastic things with the title. I know that there's been a lot of spec value when it comes to Daredevil. I believe issue 25 comes to mind, where Elektra picked up the Daredevil mantle when Daredevil himself was put in jail. But yeah, when I saw this cover, I thought, fire! I'm going to pick it up. And again, I am a big fan of Chip Zdarsky's writing right now. I do think he might be one of the better writers at Marvel. And when it comes to his independent stuff too, he is very, very creative and very good. And I'm not saying that because he's from where? But anyways, Chip Zdarsky, Daredevil, issue number 33. And Mark's agreeing with me. He loves some old school Defender. Hulk's absence is definitely missed from this new series. Okay, and Dale's agreeing. Yeah, Dale's agreeing with me. It is a fantastic, great-looking Daredevil cover. Again, I heard there's some more spec stuff when it comes to Miles lately, and I have been picking up Miles books when it comes to the Clone Saga. And this is issue 29. It's subtitled "The Clone Saga Fallout." And this is Miles Morales Spider-Man. Again, if you haven't been reading Miles, you should be. If there are some back issues, say from issue 25 to 29 right now, which just got released, you may want to pick them up. I believe there are some spec value there. There are some new characters when it comes to clones of Miles. We do know that some clones of Peter back in the day have gone up in value, so maybe you want to consider picking that up. Otherwise, Miles Morales, The Clone Saga, has actually been a very good read. And yeah, so I picked up issue 29 of Miles. And let's see. TM has joined me, TM Nerdy Station. Hope that you're doing well, Travis, out in Prince Edward Island. And for those that are not following TM Nerdy, please give him a subscribe. He's a wonderful guy, a great comic book reader, and he knows exactly what he's talking about. Recently, TM and I sat down for an interview type of episode that he's going to be putting out. I believe it's going to be released the last week of August, where him and I just sit down and we talk about things that we enjoyed growing up that led us to the point where we are now in our lives when it comes to pop culture, comic books, TV shows, toys, movies, the whole 9 yards. In the span of that hour, I really got to know him, and it was a real good time. It's something that I thoroughly enjoyed. So again, if you haven't given Travis a subscribe, please consider doing so. He's a real great guy, and he knows what he's talking about. And not only that, he's a fantastic supporter of all the YouTube channels that he gets to know. He's always throwing links out to different lives and links to videos on other people's behalfs, just so that you get to learn a little bit about the YouTube channels that he's thoroughly enjoying. So Travis is one of those great guys with a great big old heart, and I'm glad that I had the opportunity to sit down and chat with him for an hour. When that gets released at the end of August, please give that a view and a like when you have the opportunity. So let's carry on. And just to say, Dale agrees. TM is awesome. He's a good dude. Let's switch gears from Marvel to the other big franchise. Let's go to DC and start with Detective Comics 1041, the B cover, like I always pick up, just because I am a big fan of Lee Bermejo. And this is, like I mentioned, Detective Comics 1041, the Bermejo B cover, where we have Batman lifting the cowl to expose a little bit of Bruce Wayne. Expose? Is that the right word I'm using? I don't know. Expose? Batman's been exposed this year, right? That whole Black Label, that whole Black Label controversy comes to mind. But yes, so this is Bermejo being all Bermejo, and it's just fantastic. Travis, you're welcome, my friend. But yes, right now for me, Bermejo is becoming one of those artists, much like Arthur Adams. When I see his work, I just pick it up, regardless of what the title is or what the story is going to be. It's just I'm such a fan. I want to give him as much support as I possibly can. So yeah, again, it's just cover after cover, issue after issue. When it comes to Detective Comics, Bermejo has just become one of those masters. Speaking of masters, Ram V is quickly becoming a master of different type of writing. And when it comes to different type of writing, we all know that he has some great independence out there right now. But from DC, the one book that Ram V is quietly dominating on, it is The Swamp Thing. This is issue 6 of The Swamp Thing, where we have a different avatar of the Green. And it's, to me, it could be one of the best stories quietly that DC is putting out there. Ram V has woven Swamp Thing into the collective. When it comes to DC, the whole backbone of DC right now is based off the Infinite Frontier, is it? Yes. And Swamp Thing has been tied into that. We do have different characters crossing into this miniseries, and yeah, Ram V. It's again, he's becoming one of those writers. When I see his name attached to a book, I'm picking it up. Issue 6 of 10, the Swamp Thing. Again, a book that I pick up monthly just because I enjoy the read. It's a little bit of an old school read for me. Whether or not you read it or not, it's something that I am still enjoying. It's issue 777 of Wonder Woman. This issue, it says, when Wonder Worlds collide, also featuring the adventures of young Diana. So that we do have a secondary story in the back. But yes, Wonder Woman. It's a book that I just, again, it's on my pull list, and I feel no need to drop it. Much like Iron Man, which I officially dropped. Now, this past Sunday, Mark was in good enough health to record his segment of Two Cool Guys, Two Hot Picks. The previous Sunday, he just wasn't feeling well, and we had Jimmy from Small Town Collectibles step in and give what he felt was his hot pick for the week. And like I just mentioned, Mark returned, and Mark returned with a bang, let me tell you. The book that Mark picked was on my radar to be my hot pick, but because he wasn't feeling well, you know, I let him have his hot pick. And his hot pick is miniseries issue number 1, based off one of the biggest films of my teenage years. Definitely the movie that had the most hype wrapped around it, that came out in 1989. And if you haven't seen Two Cool Guys, Two Hot Picks this past Sunday, you're probably guessing what I'm about to say. It's very cool that we have the original screenwriter writing this particular book, and it is simply Batman 89. So I went with just the normal cover. There are a lot of very, very fire variants that are coming out with this particular book, and yeah, it's basically, it's going to be a 6-issue miniseries that's based in the world of Tim Burton's 2 Batman films that were released, featuring Michael Keaton as Batman. Most people that were born in the 70s and 80s generally feel that Michael Keaton is the best Batman. I feel that way. However, I do think Ben Affleck is a fantastic Batman, and to each their own. Basically, for me, I'm putting them 1A and 1B right now, just because I got to grow up through my teen years seeing Michael Keaton as Batman. I remember at the time Michael Keaton being cast as Batman was very controversial. I felt he hit it out of the park. Not only was Michael Keaton a good Batman, he was a great Bruce Wayne as well. So yes, Mark's hot pick from this past Sunday for today is Batman 89, and I'm very much hoping that this carries on that same type of legacy from the first two Batman films done by Tim Burton. And the fact that we have the screenwriter from those movies handling this particular miniseries, I feel is a coup for DC. Good job, DC. And for those that seen the Catwoman variant cover for Batman 89 featuring Michelle Pfeiffer, that could be cover of the year in my opinion. It is just fantastic. And let's just take a look at some of the comments here. Let's see. I see that Tyler has joined us. Tyler, my man, thank you very much. Tyler is one half of the Whack Comics team. He also has his own channel where he features a lot of books that are coming out, and he shows a lot of CGC books that he gets slabbed. And he's arguably one of the funniest guys on YouTube, in my opinion. And the cool thing about him is quietly sometimes we chat about independent books that are going to be coming out, and he often gets his hands on them before I do. And he recommended Stray Dogs to me. And I got to say, Tyler, thank you for that. Stray Dogs is, I think, one of the most original stories that we've had this year. And so, yeah, he's turned me on to Stray Dogs. And, if you haven't followed Tyler, well, everyone should know who Tyler is. So, but, yeah, if you haven't followed Tyler, make sure that you do. Comics Lounge has joined us. Thank you very much. And Mars as well. Mars Comics will be doing well. And, yeah. Just scrolling through here. When you do this on your phone, it's not as easy as when you do it on on your computer. Tapia's family, hope that you're doing well. Enjoy your IG stuff. And I have to get that Batman 89 Dale Suspense. Yeah, it's I'm really hoping that it's good. I'm really hoping it's good. Like I mentioned, I think it's a coup that they went out and got the screenwriter from those Tim Burton movies to come handle the miniseries of 6 issues. And it was also Mark that turned me on to the knowledge of DC's going to be doing the same thing with Superman. So I believe we're having Superman 78 or Superman 79 featuring the Christopher Reeve Superman in a miniseries as well. And I believe there's a connecting variant of 2 issues, one from Batman 89, one from the Superman book that'll be coming out, where they pay homage to Jim Lee's 2 connecting covers where both Superman and Batman are standing on the corner of a building, one at night, one at day. So I thought that was kind of cool. However, again, I think the best variant cover for Batman 89 is that Michelle Pfeiffer Catwoman cover. I think that might be a Miko Suyin cover that did it. If I'm wrong, please someone correct me if you know what I'm talking about. But either way, Batman 89, Mark's hot pick, and I think he hit himself a banger when it came to that one. Anyways, my hot pick may not have as much steam with those of you who have joined me today, but it's something that I feel is arguably the best Marvel read right now, and it's from Chip Zdarsky, and sadly, it's a what if. And I say sadly because Spider-Man right now has not been that good. Some people are enjoying Nick Spencer's run on The Amazing Spider-Man. I am not. However, I am thinking that the Sinister War is okay, but it takes not only the Sinister Six, but 2 teams of the Sinister Six and a bunch of other villains in there to make that story great. That just kind of goes to show that the writing is not, up to par. And The Amazing Spider-Man should have a fantastic writer every time. When you're a franchise title like what The Amazing Spider-Man is, you need to have your best creative team on that book at all times. But either way, my pick this past Sunday was the conclusion of the What If title, Spider-Man Spider Shadow, brought to us by Chip Zdarsky, and the interiors by Pascal Ferry. The interiors, the artwork on the interiors can be said they're not the best. There are stuff that's left to be wanting. However, the story is fantastic. For those of you that enjoyed the Todd McFarlane era Spider-Man, especially when Venom was created and Peter was dealing with the struggles of his personality change when it came to the symbiote in the black suit, and then seeing Peter eventually rid himself of the black suit thanks to a church bell, and the symbiote basically dying but somehow managing to live when it came in contact with Eddie Brock. We had the birth of Venom there. If you enjoyed that storyline, you're going to enjoy this one as well. For me, like I mentioned, Spider Shadow is the best Spider-Man story we've had this year, and arguably is the best Spider-Man story we've had in quite a while. And I think it's sad that it has to be under the What If banner to get a fantastic Spider-Man story. So again, my hot pick from this past Sunday, Chip Zdarsky, Pascal Ferry's Spider-Man Spider Shadow. I haven't opened it up. I'm kind of thinking that this is not going to end well for Peter. I can see Chip Zdarsky killing off Spider-Man in this particular issue, just because it's a what if, so anything can happen, right? But we, in the last issue, saw that the symbiote has spread throughout the Baxter building. It's infected half of the Fantastic Four. It's affected some Avengers and some X-Men now, so we'll see what happens. Again, I can see Chip just killing off Peter in the ultimate sacrifice, and it being what it is. Either way, I'm looking forward to Spider Shadow. And let's see. Tyler's saying that he's excited for some Spider-Man stuff down the road, as am I. Starting in September, Nick Spencer is going to be leaving the ASM franchise title, and I have seen the new wraparound cover for the issue that's going to be coming out, done by one of my all-time favorite artists, Arthur Adams. It looks fantastic. I'm not quite sure where the storyline is going to be kicking off for the new ASM. However, I will be on board. And spoiler alert, it's probably going to be my hot pick on Two Cool Guys, Two Hot Picks, whatever week in September it gets released, just because I'm so excited that Nick Spencer's gone from ASM, as I'm probably expecting most of you as well. Anyways, the Comics Lounge is saying can't wait to read it. I'm presuming he's talking about Spider Shadow. But yeah, so I'm just going to give everyone a quick recap, and I'm going to let you all go. I do have to get to work for 1:30 Eastern time. It's already 1 o'clock, and I know that most of you are joining me on your lunch hour, so I greatly appreciate your time, as I do always. I can't stress that enough. But anyways, this past Sunday, Two Cool Guys, Two Hot Picks. One half of the team selected Spider Shadow. The other half of the team selected the very cool Batman 89. I'm expecting big things from both books. One of my favorite reads, Wonder Woman, issue 777. A great read that I feel everyone should be reading is The Swamp Thing, issue 6 of 10 by Ron V. Detective Comics 1041. The B cover done by the brilliant Lee Bermejo. Thank you, James. Switching into Marvel, it's Miles Morales, the Clone Saga Fallout. Miles Morales Spider-Man, issue 29. Try to find some back issues starting with issue 25. They will go up in value. I want to promise you that. Speaking of Chip Zdarsky, his franchise book that he's running on right now, it's Daredevil, issue 33. This fantastic cover was a cover buy for me. And it continues Lockdown, part 3 of the Lockdown series. It looks like it might be a Mike McCone cover, by the way. Defenders #1 from Al Ewing. Again, apparently there's a first appearance in this book. You may want to pick it up just for spec value alone. Switching to Image, issue 5 of Skybound X, featuring the new take on The Walking Dead, Rick Grimes 2000. From Aftershock, it's Bunny Mask #3. I hope it's good. I hope it's better than issue 2 at least. And I hope that I can figure out this damn storyline. and just a handful of free Comic Book Day books that are going to be reader copies for me. I did, like I mentioned earlier, I do have every single copy of Free Comic Book Day already. I have put together a video. I'm going to be releasing it this weekend in coordination with Free Comic Book Day, just to show everyone the covers that are going to be coming out. I have 4 here that I'm going to show. Some of them are stamped, some of them are not. The ones that I will be showing this weekend are not stamped. They're just the raw, beautiful form from Aftershock Comics. The best story I've read in a very long time. It is We Live, The Last Days. And if those of you were joined me earlier, you'll know that Mark from Legion of Comics, who is a huge fan of We Live, said that this book brought tears to his eyes. And I'll be honest, if it brought tears to his eyes, it's probably going to do the same thing to me, because we're both those kind of guys. Anyways, from James Tynion IV, Enter the House of Slaughter, the springboard into the spin-off series that we're going to be getting in the very near future, the second series of Something is Killing the Children. I am looking forward to it. I hope that this book shares the same flavor of issue 1 to 15 of Something is Killing the Children. Don't need a backstory when it comes to origins. Just give us monsters. Anyways, the book that Tyler, I mentioned earlier, turned me on to, and it is from Tony Fleeks and Trish Forstner. It's Image Comics, Stray Dogs. This could be one of the better covers released for New Comic Book Day. I gotta admit, I'm really liking the fact that they played the whole window into this, that we can see the murderer, the young lady in the background, and the dog focused on the butterfly. Tapius, I can't disagree. That Daredevil cover is just fire. So I keep thinking We Three, for some reason, when seeing We Live. Very different. Yes. And finally, the last book that my LCS, which is right here, gave me as a reader copy. It's The Independent from Fantagraphics, Ed Piskor's Red Room. If you enjoy horror, I mean real horror, you will enjoy Red Room. So, Comic Army, that's what I got for you. I am putting together a video of Stray Dog, the movie variants. I have had to do some homework because I wanted to give some recent eBay sale prices on them. I am going to compare the covers with the original horror posters that they're homaged for. I just basically want to put together a good video talking about Stray Dogs, because Stray Dogs deserves every bit of praise that it gets, in my opinion. And like I said, I will be having a quick video spotlighting all the covers that were released for Free Comic Book Day this weekend. This Sunday, Mark and myself will be doing Two Cool Guys swap picks, and then you should be able to see us collectively with Ryan, new guy from the Cosmic Campfire, Sunday night at Week's End on that wonderful channel. Everyone, if you haven't considered hitting that like button, go ahead and do that for me. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I am still on the road to 500. For whatever reason, I got to a certain number above 360, and then I guess a bunch of people decided they didn't like my channel, and I fell right back down. I don't know how that works. Or maybe all those porn bots that were following me, YouTube eliminated them, and they're no longer fans of my channel. Sad. Anyways, Comic Army, again, I'm always appreciative of your time. And till I see you next time, please take care, stay safe, and remember, we are Legion. See you later, everyone.